Hello there, lads and ladies. Welcome back finally to another tattoo story time. And yes, if you notice anything different, soul patch is gone and I have new earrings in. They look fantastic. I'm absolutely loving these earrings. And what's great about them is that they are double-sided. It's the same on the other side as well, if you can see. They're awesome. They're absolutely awesome. I love these. I got a second pair of studs as well, actually. Well, I got three actually. I've got two of normal wolf's heads, and the other two are kind of Norse based. Like, I love my Norse mythology, you guys know this. So I might try those out later on in the week or so. But I've had these on for about, I'd probably say about well over about a week and a half or so now, I think. And I've really enjoyed them. Or maybe about under a week or so. I've really enjoyed them. I've had to put these in. Normally I'm meant to wait for like 3 months or so, but I thought 2 months is fine. You know, it's just a little bit of blood still seeping out just because it's just trying to heal it. That's understandable. But yeah, they look awesome. I'm really glad. I was able to put these in because thankfully the ball of my stud fell out when I was trying to clean my ear underneath it, because you're not meant to take them out when you're cleaning in between the monthly healing stages when you get it pierced, basically. So I thought, sod it, I'm just going to put the new ones in. And I'm absolutely glad I have, because they look so cool. I'm really happy for these. They came out fantastic. But yeah, soul patch is gone, earrings are in, and I have a new tat. As you can see, it's a switchblade comb. But that is not what I'm talking about today. I'll probably talk about that in maybe the next tattoo story time, because what I'm doing, I'm going upwards from my hands to my chest and to my back. I have got a tattoo on my leg, right after the McTow one that I got. I'll talk about that one maybe after the switchblade one, because what I want to do is I kind of want to work my way from down to up, but I'm already on the hand basically, so I might as well talk about the hand and then get back to the leg after I've done a couple of playthroughs of Elden Ring, because I want to talk about what's on my leg, because it's tied in with it basically. So yeah, the switchblade will have to wait. What I'm talking about today are my knuckle tats. Now, this is not accurate in the alphabetical order. This is Elderfruftig, or Elderfruftig. Forgive me if I'm saying that wrong. My Scandinavian watchers, you'll know what I'm talking about, and you know these signs very well. Not really signs, they're basically runes. Obviously, runes can't be translated from like a symbolistic alphabet to like an alphabet, if you know what I mean. Runes are just meant to be used as like signs of power or signs of empowerment and so on and so forth. Kind of like how some of the runes like were meant for healing or strength or wisdom and guidance, basically. But in modern times, an awful lot of people just take some of the runes and then turn them into what they have, really. For me, I incorporated a poem for my dog Deefa back there in Elder Norse, basically. Like, I took some like wisdom and like fine-tuning from like the teachings of Norse mythology, like how Thor's determination to catch the sea serpent Jogmundur. I think it's Jogmundur or something, or Jogmundur I believe his name is. Like, his determination to be able to catch that serpent, but nearly caught it, but he couldn't catch it because the fisherman interrupted him and cut the line, basically. The only reason why he lost it was because of the fisherman, but, you know, if he had like left Thor to do what he was going to do, he would have caught the serpent, basically, and that probably would have stopped Loki from getting the uprising and all that with his children to go against the world during Ragnarok and all that. So I took like the determination from Thor, I took the wisdom from Odin, and all of those things, and embedded them within the runes on my hands to come up with the word Wolf Song. And of course you all know Wolf Song is the poem that I did for my dog. I've never recited it. I don't really feel comfortable reciting it. It was just something for me in that moment with my dog. No one has ever heard me say it, and I don't think I'll ever tell anyone my poem, because it was a poem that I wrote and said to him on his final day of being on this earth, basically, before I buried him. And I wanted that poem to stay with him, but I wanted the name of it to live on with my channel, basically, if you know what I mean. And I wanted it like to live on within my flesh, basically. And not only that, but I've also got a tattoo of my dog Diva here. I will not talk about that tattoo until I do the final episode, which will probably until I'm probably on my deathbed or something like that, because, or at least until I'm done getting tattoos, because there's going to be an awful lot more tattoos than I'm going to get. So I don't want to like make Deefa's tattoo story time like just a regular story. I want to put some emotion into it. I want it to be the best of the best of my tattoo story times, because what me and he had, what an awful lot of dog owners had with their animals, basically, and not just dogs, but there are other animals like cats and hamsters and so on and so forth. It's the memories that you get with them. It's the things that animals teach you, basically. It's the unison that we have with each other. Like, we've used animals in conflicts and in peacetime most of the time, that they are practically our best friends, really, especially when it comes to dogs. Dogs are probably some of the most hard-working and underappreciated animals in our day and age, really. I say underappreciated because I feel like with the amount of animal cruelty that goes on, it's really unfortunate to hear about the horror stories that you hear with certain dogs and all that, like how they're used for fighting, or you know, how they're used for breeding, like overbreeding and all that stuff, which is why we got Deefa snipped, and we also got Bailey done as well. We got her things sorted out, basically, because we didn't want her to have to deal with like breeding and stuff like that. She was a pedigree dog. She was a pedigree Staffordshire Terrier, but we just didn't feel comfortable with her having like other dogs, you know, breed with her, basically. We just wanted her to have a nice peaceful life, really, with the family, which is understandable, because you see an awful lot of horror stories of female dogs getting bred, and it's just horrible how they like look at the end of it. They look malnourished. You know, it's always horrible for the mother to say goodbye to her kids. I mean, it's understandable. Like, dogs are not like orangutans or humans. They don't have like that strong of a maternal or fatherly instinct to look after the pup for so long, because you know they're meant to be bred like that so they can take care of themselves in a time. But like that amount of like birthing and like fighting will always like scar the dog's mind, really, and that's partly why we had to put Bailey down. Because I hadn't talked about her much because it's still kind of like raw in my mind. Obviously, she suffered from like these seizures. We took her to a specialist, and they said that she's obviously not going to, like, her mental state is not going to last within 3 or 4 months or so. She's going to continue to have these seizures, and then one day she may turn violent. We can suppress it, we can like slow it down, but we asked, is she going to suffer? That we didn't care if she was going to turn. We just wanted to know if she was going to feel hurt from this, and he said she will feel hurt. She will feel pain, basically. Unfortunately, even if we give her like the pills, it's only going to stop it for so long. Basically, it just suppresses it. It doesn't get rid of it. Basically, you know. And me and my mum decided that it was just the best thing, really, to put her down, and I held her every single step of the way. I picked her up. It was probably the longest time I've held that dog. I loved her. My mum loved her very much. She wanted not to be attached to her as much as she claims to be, really, because when she has an awful lot of German Shepherds. She loves German Shepherds, and she also had a Staffordshire Terrier when she was younger, and Bailey reminded her of the other Staffy. I think it was called JD, I believe. I never saw JD. I was like the third born child, and the dog like passed away before I was born. But yeah, it was just upsetting, really, to see her just walk out of the room, and she couldn't watch Bailey be put down. But I didn't want to like leave her on her own when she was being put down. So as I was holding her, and they placed the fluid into her system, I just felt her weight drop, and that really hit me hard. I'd never like felt such weightlessness, and then all of a sudden this just huge weight just like was filling my arms up. She was a very light dog, but as soon you ever have that thing when you're like picked up by someone or you pick someone up and they're like, okay, I'll let you pick me up. They kind of like they like lean into you to give like to take that weight off you basically. But dead weight, you just let all of that go. Like you feel all of that weight. I was thinking that when that was happening, and just to see her head hanging, I like had to raise my elbow to keep her head up basically. So I was stood there with my dog in my arms, just standing there, and the nurses were like talking to one another. Should we ask him like if he's okay and all that? Like they're just talking amongst themselves and not asking me like what's going on and all that. But the doctor, bless him, he came up to me and said, "I understand you're hurting, but unfortunately we do have to see other patients and all that. Is it okay that we sit you down somewhere?" I understood what he was trying to say, but at the moment I was kind of like really upset and really angry at the same time. So then I just said to him, I said, mate, really? You're gonna ask me that? Really? I understood in this moment. I know that he has other business and he's got other patients and all that. It's understandable, but like I just lost my fucking dog, man. I just lost my dog, so I was like really upset. Anyway, I sauntered off and they gave me a blanket and I said, no, I brought my own. It was a little blanket that she would always keep with her when she slept, basically. She'd always lean her head on it and all that. We buried her in that as well. We buried Deefa in a velvet one as well, I believe. He never laid on it, but it was something from our old house, and it kind of reminded me of him, basically, because it was like a very... you know, like how tortoiseshell looks on a comb and all that? Or like, you know what tortoiseshell is. It's kind of like that type of brown, basically. It had that chic shine to it. And Deefa had that same type of fur, how it had like that chestnutty brown fur on the top of his head and small bits of his arms, basically. It was more of like a whitish yellow colour, but there were some parts of him that were quite chestnut. And it kind of looked very tortoisey shell, and I wanted that to cover him basically. So yeah, I think what's we're gonna do. He's buried along with Bailey in my nan's garden. So what I'm going to do is once my nan passes away and we end up selling the house and all that, I think we'll up dig Deefa and Bailey and then cremate them. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to shatter. I'm going to I'm going to spread their ashes in a forest where we used to take them for walks and all that. So that's what I was planning to do basically. I'm just hoping that their bones are still there basically. I don't think I need all their bones. I think I just need their skulls basically. That'll be just fine really. I just want to be able to give them a proper send off rather than just like the old usual burying them in a garden, because I feel like they were such an impact on my life that I want to send them off with a bit more passion, basically, if you know what I mean. I feel like they deserve more of a brilliant send off than just like a buryment in, you know, your family member's garden and all that. Besides, I don't want to leave them there for another family to end up digging up and then discovering them, basically, because that tends to be the case half the time. You know, pets should always have a room in your heart, basically. And I feel like their body should be somewhat part of the earth, which it is part of the earth, but once someone then owns that property and in that garden, it then becomes their thing. You know, I don't want to have that happen with the new family. So yeah. So the opportunity that I'm going to have is I'm going to cremate them, and then I will spread their ashes in the forest. So yeah. I wanted to talk about it a little bit because there are times when I miss Deefa. You know, I really do miss him because I feel like, yeah, he's a dog, but at the end of the day, I felt like he was like that one true connection that I had where I knew no one was going to hurt me. I felt always protected when he was with me. And I take that with me in whatever I do, either it be like meeting new people, like work, when I do martial arts practice, and other stuff like that. Basically, I always take his outgoing nature, determination, and peaceful mindedness. He was a very peaceful dog. Even though he was trained by the police, he was a very well, calm, and collected dog half the time. He was very good with kids, very lovely with kids. He was always gentle, like most dogs of his size usually are. It's very strange. Like I saw my ex's dog one time. She was a Newfoundland, very big thing. Rosie, we used to call her. She was a gorgeous dog. Never listened to her owners. Never, never. She did her own thing. But as soon as I came around, she came up, jumped up on me. She was all happy and all that. I felt like because I was the only one really paying her attention most of the time. I mean, I can't really speak on their behalf because I'm sure they give that dog nothing but cuddles and affection and all that. It's probably a spoiled puppy. But she probably thinks, oh, I get it from these guys all the time. I kind of want it from someone else. So that's probably what it was. She probably just like gave me more attention because she went over and thinks, oh, a new servant, lovely. I want him to give me cuddles now. But no, she was a very lovely dog. And I remember this one time, bless. She could easily have like toppled me over, but she was so sweet. She basically just like stood up on her hind legs and just like pitter-pattered her paws up to my shoulders to try and support herself on me. But she wasn't like putting so much weight on me because I know how heavy Newfoundland dogs are. She was kind of like hopping a little bit to try and like alleviate the weight, you know. That's how really thoughtful some dogs and some animals can be, really, when it comes to stuff like that. And it's funny as well when they have like guilt trips and all that, because I've had dogs do that sometimes. Like my cousin's dog, it's like a little bulldog. It goes through the trash sometimes and eats some of the small bits of biscuits that they don't tend to eat. It's very weird. He only did that with biscuits. If he didn't smell biscuits, he wouldn't go through the bin. Anyway, like I remember this one time he had his head in the bin. I've gone to him, what are you doing, boy? He's whipped his head out of the bin with the top of it still around his neck. He sat there like, what? I didn't do nothing. And then I get closer to him and I like leer over him, and then he's just like, I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. And then he'd look really upset. It's mostly body language with dogs. You can easily communicate with a dog through body language. Because like if you talk to it in a very calm, soothing voice and say things like, oh, I hate you, I really, really don't like you, oh, I wish you got run over, like they're gonna like really be pleased because of your body language and the way you're speaking. But if you shout something like, I love you, I absolutely love you so much, you're the bestest boy yet, like, they're gonna be like, what the hell, stop. It's a very weird thing really with animals. It's the small subtleties that they pick up on really as well. It's the same with cats. I don't like cats for that very particular reason, that they're just so, like they're the walk of the walk, you know, like they act like the walk of the walk and the talk of the talk basically, with no substance basically. It just annoys me so much really. And I think there's a thing that happened with one cat where it like looked dead at me and I just thought, fuck it, I'm gonna look dead back at you. He got super pissed. He was like, why is this human not backing down? This human is not stopping looking at me, because you're not meant to look cats in the eye. What you're meant to do is like slowly blink and then look away, and that gives them like the okay that, oh, he's not a threat or anything like that. But I didn't give a shit. I did not like cats. I still don't like cats. I mean, I don't mind me. I don't mind petting a cat. They're lovely. Like some cats are lovely, but then it's just the ones that saunter about thinking they could just come in your home and nick your food and all that. It's like, piss off, it's my home, get out. Go to another neighbour's house and do that. Anyway, it started looking at me, its ears went back, and I'm like, I'm not gonna freaking flinch, mate. So either you flinch and F off, or you come and attack me. He got closer and closer to me when he was about maybe 2 inches away from me. And then I just clicked my fingers in front of it and it scrapped off. Because I thought to myself, if I don't do something, he probably might scratch me. So I just lifted my fingers up in front of it and snapped at it, and that just made it jump back in fright. I mean, yeah, kind of a stupid move. It could have scratched me, but I thought to myself, no, I'm not backing down from this thing. I'm not letting a cat bleeding like big dick me. What's this? F off. You come into my home, you jump on my table, you come over to me with your ears flat back, expecting me to feed you. F off. See, at least dogs show you love in a proper, lovely way. Cats, they just like, they give you their time for like 2 seconds and it's like, okay, that's good. Now, feed me, peasant. Feed me. Oh, that's why I hated TikTok. Oh. No, I'm not talking about the social media app. That thing's a whole dumpster fire. I mean my cat TikTok. It was a black and white cat. This thing was vicious. Why my mum got this cat, I don't know. I don't know where she got it from. She might have had a deal with the devil or something. But that freaking cat was an arsehole. Such an arsehole. Every time I tried to stroke it, it would look at me as to say, "What you want? Eh? What you want?" And it would like give me a warning, like flipping its tail at me. I mean, I'm like 4 or 5 at this point, so I don't know any different. So I'm just there, like haphazardly looking back on it now, I'm probably wondering why. I think I know why the cat was so pissed off with me half the time, because I'm like stroking it like the like the bloke from Goonies is like, "Hey, you guys," like, you know. So it's like I can understand why the cat would scratch me, but then after that, if I just went near the thing, it's like I gave it PTSD, and he's like, "No, not you again." Does all that Dracula kung fu shit, you know, like, you know. So it's like, all right, I'm leaving you alone. Just don't come near me, you know. Yeah, get away. Have you ever had that when an animal just like looks dead at you, and it just like shits you up? Like, I had this one time when I was walking through the forest with my dog, and then before he's barked at it, there's a squirrel that came running down from the tree and on a branch. It was about maybe 2 feet above me. I've looked at it for about 2 seconds, and then the squirrel just noticed me, and it just looked at me like, "Fuck, he's gonna go for me throat!" I'll tell you what, next time you're out with your girlfriend and some bloke looks at you and they go, "You looking at my bird," just go like that. "Oh, sorry mate. It's good stuff. It's good times. Good times I've had with Deetha and Bailey. Lovely dogs. But yeah, that's the reason behind why I got the Elderfrufnik done, or Elderfrufnak, because I took the different attributes from different gods and all that, and put them in a poem that I wrote for my dog Deetha, and then I made that into a channel, and then finally I got them tattooed on my knuckles. These were my first hand tattoos, I believe. Or was it that one? Oh, I think this was my first hand tattoo, because it was hidden, and then that, and then that, and then this, and then that, and then this. This is my most recent one. But yeah, my hands are almost completely covered. I just need to get my other palm done. Not happy with that. Not looking forward to it. That was painful. I mean, hell, even getting this little bit on my thumb done was painful enough. Like that little ridge there in the thumb gap. Oh, it was painful. I'd rather take 15,000 cuts from TikTok again rather than go through that. That was just terrible. But happy it's done. I'll be talking about that hopefully within the next 3 weeks or so, because I might be interchanging out books and games and stuff like that. Or I might probably do a double tattoo story time special. You never know. Just to get the ones on my hands done faster, basically. So I'll mix 2 stories together. You never know. But that's is basically my tattoo on my channel's name and the poem I've given for my dog. I'll be carrying on with some more Elden Ring, and now that Konohana Kitan is finished, I've got to finish off Kaiju Girl Caramelize, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my Call Me Can't Communicate reviews, because they have been lacking a little bit, I know. I've been watching the anime mostly, but I have not been keeping up with the manga, basically. I've still got a few more books to get through, so don't worry. I'll probably review those when I have the opportunity because it's a fantastic little manga. It's very fun, very quirky, and obviously Komi-san is just best waifu, hands down best waifu. So we all know that. So I'll be getting her back on the channel sooner or later one day. I think the next one will be Volume 7, so look out for that one, guys. But yes, with that, I thank every single one of you, as always, for watching my channel, listening to me ramble, and just giving this average guy, you know, a nod, and just being here, as always. I appreciate it, and I love talking with you guys, and I love giving you guys content that you can enjoy. So, with that, lads and ladies, thank you ever so much, and as always, take care. I'll see you all in the next video.